Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for coming out today to our Job and Resource Fair. This is our second one. With PD16, our Reentry Council, we're trying to hold these at least twice a year. But just to see y'all out today, it's really, really a blessing to have you here today. You're going to be talking to a lot of different people today and also getting a lot of information about resources that are going to help you as returned citizens and just as the normal population that we have that are assisting us today. But one of the main things that we want to make sure that you do is be comfortable, okay? We want to make sure that you are enjoying what's going to happen today. Make sure that you go to every table, introduce yourself, find out what they're about. Start building a relationship. So let them know who you are and find out definitely who they are, okay? So one of the other things that we're going to be doing, you're going to be hearing from there's no word for this guy, I'm going to tell you the truth, but she's going to be introducing him. But I do want to tell you this today. No matter what you do from this day forward, know that everything that is in your life can change, okay? No matter what has happened in your life, it can change. But you have to have the correct mindset. You're in a population now where there are individuals that want to help. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you get through this, not by yourself. As men, excuse me ladies, but we're hard-headed, okay? We're hard-headed. We sometimes don't want to listen, and we want to do it our way. But guess what? We need help too, okay? So take advantage of what's going to happen today and make sure that you continue to let people that want to pour into you help you along the way to build your life and be more successful. One of the things, my diversion guys, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all really coming out today because we couldn't have done what we did today without you guys being here. Now, before I adjourn myself, remember, on this day, think about how your mindset is and where it comes from and what has happened to you. Because more than anything else, if you don't apply yourself the correct way, something might happen that you don't like. And what we want to make sure is that when these things happen, that you reach out. Okay? Question. Who in here thinks that because of what has happened to you, I can't get something, or I'm going to have an issue, or I can't move forward? This is your time to interact with me just for a second. Tell me what some of the issues are that we're having right now.
It's going to be kind of hard for us being convicted now.
Mm-hmm.
To get job opportunities, decent job opportunities.
Okay. Do you have a good skill set?
Yes.
Okay. Now, with your skill set, your mindset should be upon that. Okay? Remember, you can knock 50 times at a door and they might say no, but there's somebody that has a door that's waiting for you to knock on to open up and say yes. And we want to make sure that you keep knocking, keep asking. What other barriers do you think you have? Now, I'm not going to say this for all of y'all this morning. Come on, let's speak up. Housing, is that one?
Yes.
How about transportation?
Yes.
Okay, what are we here for today? Job and resources?
Yes.
Okay? Do not limit yourself. Do not limit yourself. Because what's more important is that when you are trying to strive for excellence, guess what? You can't do it by yourself. Something was given to me to help me through my job. He gave me just one phrase. He said, excellence with assistance. And that means with help, you can be excellent. Continue to do the best job that you can. Know when you go for a job that you're the best person for that job when you have that skill set. If you continue to stay on your barrier, that's where you're going to be buried. Do not let that be something that is going to be against you, or that you're going to come up against, or that's going to be stopping you in the midst of you trying to get where you need to be at. Because it's not. We have a lot of individuals that are going to be talking to you today that have been where you are, including myself. I was told I wouldn't work for DLC. I was told I couldn't run this type of position. But here I am standing in motion. So when we talk about where people come from, I was sitting where you were sitting. So it's not about where you were, but it's about where you're going and how are you going to get there. I hope each and every one of you think about what we're going to instill in you today so that you can continue to have a better life for you and for your families and for this community. Because a lot of you I know, and a lot of you can do well, and I know you will succeed. But no matter what, guys, women, ask for the help. Ask for the help. Do not be embarrassed, because the people and the peers that you're around know, and that's why we're here. God bless each and every one of you. And Krista, can you introduce us?
Just real quickly before I introduce our speaker, I wanted to talk about these folders that we passed out. And again, I'm Krista. I'm from District 21. I've worked in the Department of Corrections for several years at the institutional side, and now I worked at Atmore as well, headquarters, and now I'm here in the community working in probation. I'm here because I really want to help people and give people some of the resources and some of the things that they need to be successful, because I think if our community, if my friends and my neighbors and everybody I know are successful, then that's gonna build us a better community. So I put together this folder, and there's a lot of good information in here. I'm not gonna go through the information right now, but if you don't have a folder, please make sure you try to get one on your way out. Some of the information on there is on federal bonding. We have some Goodwill information. Goodwill, this house right here, is an awesome resource to take advantage of. And what I started doing was I started making a book, a resource guide essentially for people in Virginia that have been incarcerated. So inside of your folder you have 3 pages from a book that I'm putting together, and it's called Did You Know? One of the pages talks to you about how you can get some of your rights back, because restoration of rights is something I'm really passionate about. So it talks to you how to get your rights back. Also, did you know you can pay court costs by completing community service? I'm sure many of y'all in the room know that you can do that, but a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that they can contact their courts, do some community service, and help pay their court costs all together. And then I talked about how to get your license back, because a lot of people are losing their license, and I think that's really setting people up for failure. So I'm starting to put together the book. So you guys are the first, and females, the first group of people that get to see the pages that are gonna go into the book that I'm creating. So I'm really excited about that. A lot of people have helped get this information put together. A lot of people are really gonna start working on this. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about what's in the folder. So make sure you take a look at it once this is kind of like all said and done, and share the information with other people. Information is power. I think it's really important that you don't spread the inaccurate information. It's really important that you spread the information that can help other people. So I just wanted to include that in the folder. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna introduce our guest speaker. I'm really excited to invite Thurston to be here because I met Thurston while he was incarcerated. So to see him in a different light is always really exciting to me, to see him do the good things that he's doing for the community. Mr. Thurston is a true man-child in the promised land. He's a father of 3 beautiful children, grandfather of 2 beautiful grandbabies. He has decided to take an active stance against violence, self-destructive behavior, and selfish actions that are collectively destroying our communities. He's a true soldier in the fight against social inequalities, holding up the bloodstained banner while he leads by example. Those who have felt disenfranchised are now able to feel involved, and those who thought that they had no voice are able to now be heard. He's developed a concept on social media known as Heavily Motivated. Through Heavily Motivated, he's been able to affect thousands of souls in hopes of who were close to giving up. A quick Google, you can find information about Heavily Motivated, but a quick Google, you can also find some nice videos of Mr. White speaking to our community, particularly our youth. That was really touching to me when I Googled him to see what he was up to. So through Heavily Motivated, he seeks to break down barriers that are hindering all races of achieving success, and he is now tagged as Mr. Heavily Motivated, which is really good, because it really defines who you are. Mr. White seeks to touch those who are struggling with mental health issues, depression, anxiety, self-doubt, loss of self-worth, and loss of self-identity. He does this by making videos that shine light on issues and sometimes even adding a little humor to a serious situation. That's an understatement, to add humor to something really serious. When asked what his catalyst for change was, he replied, As I watched Barack Obama walk on the stage as votes were being tallied up to become the President of the United States, I was forced to take a fearless moral inventory of myself, and that's when I realized that I was living way below my potential. So here in front of you today is a true product of his environment, only he was blessed with an opportunity to change his environment. It's the same blessing everybody in this room has. Everybody has a way to contribute to yourself, to your family, and your community, and that's something that he's been very successful at what he does. So I'm really, really excited to introduce you to, again, emphasizing a true man-child. I present to you a citizen from no mean city, Mr. Heavily Motivated.
Thurston White here, Inspirational coordinator. You remember that?
Hello, Mr. White.
I was on the structure board while I was in prison for 24 months. I volunteered for this. Most people hated going into reentry. But what happened, I had a dream. I knew that I didn't want to be what I was when I got out, so I had to do different things to affect my situation. So I'm here in front of you today because I dared to dream, and I dared to stand out, and I dared to disassociate myself with all of my friends and homies and all that. I dared to be here. I dreamt here. I'm here by faith. I used to get up every day for 26 months at AMD and PMD meetings and speak because I knew I wanted to get home and speak to people. So I had to make a change and took the opportunity to get the experience while I was incarcerated. So now once I came home and began to speak, I'm not afraid. I don't have bubbles. I don't have bubble guts. I don't have like fear. It's not there in me. I used my time while I was incarcerated for something positive, all right? And I want to tell y'all that no matter what y'all going through and no matter the current situation, there is a brighter day. There is a bright future for all of y'all. You just have to take advantage of all the situations. We're here today not because we have to be here. When you look around, everybody's here today because they care. We don't have to know you to care about you. I learned that. I don't have to know your name to care about you. I want what's better for you, your children, and your family. So that's why we're all here to help you and give you some uplifting words. Because we all know what we should do, but few of us do it. So when she read the bio, I said things like from no mean city, man-child in the promised land. I dropped little jewels so people who read books would be like, oh, I read that. I heard of that sentence before. I know that. From no mean city, that was Paul from the Bible that wrote all the books in the Bible. He wrote like 14 books, and he was locked up during times when he wrote those books. That's why I put on man, I'm yielding from no mean city. Just to show you, like, no matter what, there's a brighter day. I tried to prepare a speech of what to talk to, but there's no one that I can run the issues through that we deal with. So me sitting at home preparing a speech wouldn't help me today when I talk to y'all. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk to y'all from the heart and tell y'all what's going on in my life, all right? I got, you was talking about the felonies and all that, and can't find a job. I got a criminal background done, an FBI background check on myself, right? And y'all can't see it all, but I was charged with 14 felonies, okay? I was not discouraged. I didn't let this discourage me because I knew I had some potential. I did state time. I have a state badge on me right now. I did fed time. This is my federal penitentiary I did, all right? None of this discouraged me because I knew that I had a family, and I knew I was tired of suffering. I was tired of the pain. I was tired of the cold bunks, the stale food. I was tired of having to dress in brown, and I was tired of destroying my communities, all right? So we all have to wake up and put our best foot forward, and we're gonna achieve all these things. Again, don't pass around this picture of me when I was in there. That's what I used to be. That's what I used to look like. Now, today I'm in another life. And in this, I'm gonna pass this around. I have pictures in here of people that I've been blessed to be around because I took a stance and took a chance to do something different. So that's the encouragement with this whole message is y'all take a stance and take a chance to do something different, stand out on faith. I'm gonna go through some of these pictures real quick. If you see this picture right here, this is me standing with the Lieutenant Governor, Justin Fairfax, right there. We was at a house, I was at a judge's house for a party. Usually when I was in front of a judge, it was a different outcome. I was at a judge's house for a party with the Lieutenant Governor, with congressmen and state delegates, and they all was nice, friendly, and we had a wonderful time. It was amazing. That's John Ely, he's on the school board in Newport News. And this is Steve Brown, city councilman I helped put in office, me, Mr. 14 Felonies, helped get somebody in office. I helped. The reason I was able to help because I applied myself and I was involved. I stepped out, I said I want to help change my community. Mr. Brown said, Thurston, I have something that you can do. You can help me run for this office that I'm running for. And I did. I went out. I can't vote. So I got people to vote. I got people registered to vote. We're still getting people registered to vote now. And I take a stance trying to help out. This is my family. This is what's most important to me right here. This is my 3 children. My grandson, now I have another grandbaby too. And I've been blessed with opportunities to do work. When I came home from prison, I knew I didn't want to go back to the old me, but I also knew that I needed to supply money, supply income for my family. So I did VIP security when VIPs would come in town, and a bunch of, they're like entertainment ladies, and I pass these around. If anybody I know, Money Divine, I was her security guard. I do security for her. Maya Mora, Keisha Kaor, Gucci Man's wife. I do our private security detail. I pick them up from the airport, drive them around. And the key to it, y'all gotta realize, and y'all might already know it, not trying to be disrespectful, but everybody that smiles at you, speak to you, and are nice and buy you something to eat does not want to have sex with you. They don't want to sleep with you. I'm sorry for being so blunt, but that's gotta be a fact. We gotta discuss this because we're returning citizens going home, and sometimes nobody smiled at us in a long time. So you can't take it the wrong way, because doors will open for you if you can take things on a professional level. The reason I had these opportunities because I respected all these women, no matter what they did. I respected them, they were nice to me, they tipped me, and they paid me. It was a job, it was a job, it was nothing more. It did not have to lead to anything. I already have a beautiful woman by my side. So just remember that. This is a picture with Juju. Most of the ladies from Love and Hip Hop and Bebe. Here's a picture with me and Mr. Bobby Crofton. Let me take a chance to tell you about Bobby Crofton right here. He's not famous, but he's famous to me. So I got out from prison, and while I was in prison, a guy came into prison, and I used to listen to when they come in and talk, and I would sit there where you're at, and I said, man, I sit there, I'm like, this funny looking dude. His pants too tight, his forehead big, he don't got no hair. I was like, whatever he could do, I could do it better. That's what I used to think. And so I'm looking for out there, today I'm looking for somebody that's saying that same thing about me. Whatever Thurston could do, I could do it better. Because if you do better than I did, you really achieved something, you really succeeded. So I want to encourage y'all to do better. But the guy was in there, and he said, my advice to you is to get out and keep employment for 12 months. So I'm like, 12 months? I said, I keep employment for that. Whatever this dude would do, I can do it better. So I went out. He said keep the same job for 12 months. Went out, went to a temp agency. I thought I deserved money. I thought I deserved like some real money for what I can do. I was a carpenter. I could do carpentry work. Temp agency ain't had none. They sent me to dig ditches. All right? I was digging ditches for $7.52 an hour. Digging ditches all day. I used to have to ride a bicycle to work, ride a bicycle from work. I used to ride an average of 12 miles a day on my bicycle. But I knew one thing, I had a dream. No one's gonna stop me from achieving my dream. And I was focused to provide for my children. In order to provide for my children, I had to get to work. And I had to dig those ditches. I had to hold the shovel. It was raining, I was digging ditches. One day, I like to talk to people. When I was in prison, people used to always tease me, oh, you talk to everybody. Why are you talking to him? Why are you doing that? I love talking to people. So one day a car pulled up and he knocked on the office door and no one was in the office. So I was digging my ditch. And someone was like, go talk to him. So I went over there. He was a tall guy with a Green Bay Packer hat on. I said, man, what about them Redskins? And so we started talking. And that all developed, and he was like, you look like you do more than dig ditches. I said, you know, as a matter of fact, I can do more than digging ditches. So this is for you right there that said the felonies and charges might have you discouraged. You take whatever you can get, and you got to turn it into something. You got to stick with it. You got to grind and nurture it. Because I told the guy, I said, you know what? I can do more than dig ditches. I just don't have opportunity. He said, what you do? I said, I'm a carpenter. I can cut wood, nail wood, measure. I can do anything. Crown molded, cabinets, all that. He said, okay. What's your name, Mr. White? He was like, okay, well, come to work for me tomorrow. I was like, all right, bet. I'll be there. Wait, where at? Virginia Beach? I was like, I'm riding a bike to work. How I'm gonna get out the beach, riding a bike to work. And then when he said how much he was gonna pay me, I was like, well, how much it start? Because I was making $7.25 and I wasn't going, or $7.52 or something like that, but I wasn't gonna get less than that. He said, man, I'll pay you $14 an hour. I said, oh, you tripping. $14 an hour just off of me walking up having this conversation with you. So I went back to the halfway house because I wasn't in society all the way. I was in the halfway house because I left federal prison. And in the halfway house, I thought about it. I said, you know what? That guy lying to you, Thurston. This one that doubt, this one that disbelief. This is when you start second guessing the blessings coming your way. I said, he lying to you. He just gonna get you to work and he ain't gonna pay you. Then you're gonna get mad, do something stupid, and end up in prison. So I ain't call him. I didn't call him back at all. 3 days later, my phone rang. Hey, Thurston, I looked online, you never filled out that application. So you know, first thing I do, I shoot off the cuff. I couldn't download it on my phone. That's what I told him. So I said I couldn't download it. This is an interesting story. So I went back to work, digging ditches, boom, boom, boom. I see the car pull up and I think he going in the office. He walks up to me and say, "Oh, here's a paper application. Fill this out. I need you at work tomorrow." So I said, "Man, are you serious? Why?" And what he was saying, you have to let people bless you. You got to let people be involved. You got to be able to take stuff from people. You got to let people plant seeds in your life. All right? You got to let the person bless you. There's things out there for you, but we got to let it happen. So needless to say, I went to work for him. $14 an hour. All right? Check was wonderful. I was making 45 cents an hour for years. For like 6 years, 8 months, I was making 45 cents an hour. So to make a check with $14 an hour, it was awesome. And I'm not with the company because he was with a temp agency, but he placed me at a company called Crofton. And that's where I left off with this book. This is Bobby Crofton right here. Him and I are on a boat in Nag's Head taking pictures of dolphins, all right? The owner of Crofton Industries. And when I was a temp working for Crofton, I knew who the owner was because he would come out there, and I was like, you know what? I believe that you have to deny me. You have to tell me no, because I deserve what everybody else deserves, all right? It's nothing different about me. I just made a couple mistakes. But don't judge a man on his worst day, because as long as he's alive, I have a chance to change. And I had changed. I just had to show society that I changed. So I said, hey, Bobby, I like to work for Crofton full time. Man, you know what he told me? He said, unfortunately, Thurston, with your criminal background, we can't use you. And it made me mad. It made me angry. It made me frustrated. And you know what I did? I wanted to drink. I wanted to smoke. I wanted to fight. I wanted to lash out. But I thought about it, where I came from. I looked at pictures, thought about my mom and my kids. I didn't do none of that. I said, you know what? I'm gonna learn everything this company got to teach me, and I'm gonna take it to its competitor. And when they see me working for their competitor on a job that they got bid out for, he's gonna regret the day he didn't hire me. Needless to say, I'm still at the company. Because I was aggressive, and I learned everything that was getting done. I was a temp. My job was to paint and needle gun. I come to work, hey boss man, what I gotta do today? He told me what I had to do, I knock it out and I go help somebody else. The other temps was like, man, you ain't gotta do that, that ain't your job. I was like, man, just watch this. I'm trying to bust a move. So I come to work, hey, what I gotta do? He said, take care of this, boom, 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 sweating hard, do it all, knock it out. I'm going to help the mechanics, I'm going to help people build cranes, I'm going to help people do important stuff. Over the course of the time, Bobby Crofton noticed this, he noticed it. And one day, maybe 8 months later, he came to me. He said, hey, Thurston. I was like, what's up, Bobby? Because I wasn't really friendly with him because I didn't like how he told me he couldn't use me. I was like, what's up, Bobby? He said, you ready for the opportunity you asked me for? I said, man, go on, man. He hired me. But at the end of the day, when I really thought about it, he didn't hire Thurston as a person. So when you go out and get these jobs, they're not hiring you as an individual. And he is the owner of a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar, $1 million company. He has to think, if it's people out there without all these felonies, why hire me over them? But through the temp agency, I had a chance to show them that I'm really got the quality. So he didn't hire me as a person, he hired my ability to get the job done and the skill set and the kind of energy I bring to the workforce. I bring a lot to the atmosphere. I'm not negative, I'm not sagging, I don't get involved in the malarkey. I don't do all the craziness people do. I come to work to support my family, I do my job, and I leave and go home. Your coworkers are not necessarily your friends. We're not at work to make friends, we're at work to further our life. So that's why I got this picture of Bobby Crofton, and it's really important to me that I have this picture. And I'll show y'all something else in a second. But I'll be involved in rallies, a lot of marches I'm involved in. People call me to come and speak to youth. I speak to different mentoring groups. That's me in the march saying stop the guns, stop the violence. This is me and Jimmy Gray. He's either the mayor or the vice mayor of Hampton. This is school board representatives right here. This is me and, who's that baby? She smiled, she loved Tommy. This is Tommy. Everybody knows Tommy. I did security for Tommy twice. They invited us back to the room. We have a good time. It's very respectful. You have to be professional. Everything is not an engagement in any kind of way. It's just business, and when you respect people on the business level, it go much further. And let's see. This is me and Dallas the Body. She's a video vixen. Any of y'all know Dallas the Body, and this is me doing security for, I don't even know how to say it. She's a porn star, but she's very nice, and I did security for her, and I respected her. Her name is Go F Me, but I respected her to the utmost. And I'm showing these to you to let you know, like, whatever you want to do out there, life is out there for you. I can pass that around and check it out. But all that to say, 14 felonies, charged with 14 felonies, found guilty of 5. 5 years in prison for my first offense, drug offense. 6 years as a federal fugitive for another offense I went on the run for. And then 6 years, 8 months back in prison paying for the time that I was a federal fugitive. All that led up to me being in front of you today, all right? Because I decided to change. And I am the one to tell you that you can do better, no matter what it is, no matter what, no matter what your rock bottom is, where you went through, you can do better. It's a better day. If I can do it, and if I can get called on by the mayor, the vice mayor, to talk to me, to ask my opinion about things going on in the community, you can do it. I am no better than you, all right? We just got to get your mind right. And everybody say, oh, with your felonies, you can't get badges, you can't get into the shipyard, you can't do things. What I got right here in my hand, federal prison ID, state prison ID. Once I can't pass these out because I got to keep them. But this is a D-bid, this is a D-bids badge. I can get into all the Navy bases in Tidewater area. I probably get into them out of the Tidewater area. I have clearance to get into the Navy bases, all right? This is a temporary badge to get on a ship. I'm just showing you these so you'll know this is a TWIT badge. I get into any port. I changed my life. My past is like a rear view mirror in the car. If you was to drive down the road looking in your rear view, you're not gonna get nowhere. I stopped looking at my past. I know it's there. I got tattoos on me. I spent all this time away from my kids, but I can't let my past control my future. All right, this is a TWIT badge. I can get in any port, anywhere, just scan it and stroll on through like anybody else. Because you don't have a felon marked on your forehead. Nobody knows you're a felon. Nobody knows none of it. You just have to carry yourself in accordance. Pull your pants up, make sure your teeth brush, make sure you got the sleep out your eyes, and wake up early and put your best foot forward. You got to. Some people have sleep in their eyes. You're like, bro, take care of that. But I have a stack of badges. I can go through these for 10 minutes. All kinds of shipyards. What's this? A NAVSEA badge. I can get anywhere that anybody else can get into. I can get into that yard too. I have clearance to get in there. All right. And y'all see the offender logo. I got my criminal report right here. She told you she was my case manager while I was locked up. So the proof is in the pudding. And I'm not talking about this big pie in the sky philosophy where everybody says this big pie up here and you do this, you'll get that. No. I'm talking about the slice of pie that's on your plate that you can eat off, that you and your family can eat off. You have to step out there and let them tell you no. I didn't believe I can get these badges. She said, baby, just apply. I was like, they're not going to give me a badge. Why? Why am I wasting my time? She said, just apply. So I applied for one, they gave it to me. I said, oh, snap. I applied for another one, they gave it to her. And then, when Ms. Holbrook and Mr. Williams was talking about the resources that's going to be available to y'all here, you got to take advantage of the resources. And even while y'all in y'all state where you're at, you need to take advantage of pen and paper and write things down. Write letters to yourself that you're going to read later on in life. Write a letter you're going to read 6 months after you get home. Write a letter that you'll read a year after you're released to see where you're at, because I dared to write those letters because I was dreaming, all right? I didn't have a dream, but I had something going on. I stole a lot of things. Anybody stole something, don't raise your hand. But if any of y'all ever stole anything in your life, stealing is not good. It always hurts somebody. But one thing that you might want to consider, if you don't have a dream, steal somebody's dream. You can't go to jail for it. You're not going to get time. Ms. Holbrook not going to violate you. The police not going to lock you up. Steal somebody's dream and make it yours, but it has to be a legal dream and it has to be in accordance with the laws of society. And if it's right, and if you put your best foot forward, and if you're not playing games trying to bullcrap people, it can happen. It can happen for you. Because I had a dream, I wrote it down, and I manifested it. And I've shown her some papers that I wrote while I was in prison, and things on that paper has came true for me. Because I was serious about my success, all right? I want to be there for my sons. I don't want my sons to grow up without a father and he always in prison like I was. That's why I did Heavily Motivated, so that they could see me standing up against some of the things that I used to be involved in, because I don't want them thinking like, oh, it's cool to do this because my daddy used to do it. Nah, it's not cool, bro. And I'm going to show you it's not cool, and I'm going to dedicate my life to preventing it. And I go into places where nobody else will go. I go to places, I go to jails, I go to juvies, I go to prison, I go into the hood, I go what you call it, the trap. I go into the trap and talk to people, and I go to the rich neighborhoods, I go to the rich places, I go to gatherings and dinners and galas and talk to them too. Because I have a calling on my life to administer hope, all right? You need hope, you need a voice. All of y'all can be heard, you just gotta start saying stuff, and you gotta say the right things. And if you don't know the right thing to say, please don't say nothing. Let me see, I got the resources they were talking about. Check this out. Another person came in while I was locked up at Haynesville in the gym, and they did all this stuff where you can get your ID and all that, and your license, all that information. They said I'd get my license. So I went home, got my driver's license. But I also remembered, because I had that pamphlet like that, I had it tucked up under my bed when I was in the halfway house, and I was sitting there one night, I said, man, they say I get a CDL when I get home, the state will pay for it. So I grabbed a little pamphlet out that I was, at some things she put together. I grabbed a pamphlet, said, call Peninsula Workforce. I called them. This is a Class A commercial driver's license. The state paid for it. It was a grant. It was $4,900 it took to get this. I had to show up. You had to be on time, and if you didn't pass, there was some repercussions. And they give you a time frame to complete it. So what I'm saying is that the same resource that's used for this can be used for other training too. There were other classes they would send you to, not just CDL, but take advantage of it, and take advantage of it as soon as you get home, because these things help. As long as I have this in my pocket, theoretically I'm never unemployed, because I can always hop in a truck and drive. And I started off at $14 an hour with the temp agency. When Bobby Crofton made me permanent, I got a couple dollars raised. It was cool. And then when I got the CDL license, I said, man, I'm gonna go drive trucks. I'm gonna go somewhere else. I don't wanna be at Crofton no more. I was there for a year. He said, no, I'll give you some more money to help stay. So I got another raise. And I don't even drive trucks at Crofton. If it's an emergency, I'll drive, but most of the time I fix cranes, fix boats, and just keep the process going. I do a lot of stuff. I do everything. And what you gotta realize at work is when somebody hires you at work, they're not hiring you for one particular thing. That ain't my job mentality. It's gonna get you late, and it might get you fired. It's gonna get you overlooked for promotions. It's gonna get you overlooked for raises. Your job is to do whatever needs to be done at that company at that given time, all right? And help other people do theirs. If you see somebody coming in that's new after you and they're struggling, about to make a mistake that y'all made, let them know. Be proactive. Show up, be punctual, be on time, always smile, even if you're having a rough day. It's another thing. When you get out, you gotta stay sober. Give yourself a chance. The pills, the opioids, dope, Molly, liquor, beer, weed, whatever your drop is, don't go back to it. Give yourself a chance to succeed, because you have to have a good support system. And when you're using anything, even if it's just on the weekends, it's gonna affect things, because most of us are gonna need a ride to work. So if you ain't got drunk and cuss your aunt out Friday night and you need a ride to work Monday, it's just not really gonna work. So stay sober as much as possible. Don't do anything illegal. Stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay heavily motivated, all right? And understand that your support system is very important. The partner, the mate, the woman that you choose, the man that you choose to be with is of utmost importance, because they can make you or break you. If you're not smoking and your girl's smoking, one day you might hit the blunt, all right? If you don't pop pills and your girl popping pills, one day you might pop a pill. It's just a higher chance for this to happen. So just be aware. If you're not drinking and your girl drinking, one day you might drink. Try to find somebody that's on the same mission that you're on, that's not gonna be a negative influence in doing these things around you. And if your friends are getting money, if your friends are doing anything illegal, stay away from it. It doesn't make you scared. It doesn't make you a wimp. It actually makes you smart and being responsible. Stay away from it. And I want to introduce you to one of the leading people in my support system, is Miss Lakita Hicks. I met her. When I met her, she begged me for my phone number. And she was like, oh, Thurston, you're so handsome. It was crazy. I was like, shorty, I'm trying to get my life together. No. But no, I met her, and I was straight up. I told her, I said, hey, I'm just coming home. I have a dream. I showed her my dream, because it was written down on paper. It wasn't me selling you a pipe dream. I have a dream. This is my dream, by the way, and this is where I'm at in pursuing my dream. and I would like to spend some time getting to know you and be with you, but I have to chase this dream, which is very important to me. And I said, and I even told her this, I said I was on a French diet. She was like, what's that? Because I was in shape. I was like, I'm on a French diet. I was like, I'm on a bougie. She was like, bougie? She ready to pull her phone out and Google it. I said, I'm on a budget. I'm on a budget. When you get out, you gotta let people know, because you don't want to set false expectations, because if you get a girl that's high maintenance and high sedity and she wants you to do all these things, get her hair done, buy dinner, get her nails done, go buy shoes, buy you some Jordans, this leads back to hustling, this leads back to recidivism, this leads to criminality. So the people that you hold dear to you and the people that you try to influence is very important. You have to make sure you're getting with somebody that's going to understand your condition and your situation, because you're not going to be financially where you was at when you get back out on the street, because you have a gap. And even if you do have money, you need to save it to have a better future. All right? So she's been pivotal in my success. She understands. She meets me 50-50. Sometimes she meets me 60-40. Sometimes I don't even meet at all. I just meditate here. I've been blessed. But I want to bring Lakita Hicks up here to share some of her experience, and she's going to tell you what it is dealing with us, dealing with people like us in our bullcrap. She walked in the room on me one day. Have anybody did some serious time? Anybody out here? Nobody did any serious time? Well, she walked in the room on me one day. I'm gonna be real vulnerable. I was in the room sort of like having an anxiety attack because the TV was loud, a lot of noise, a lot of movements, everything going on. I was just sitting in the room tripping by myself with the light out. And I had explained this to the lady that I love, that baby, I've been somewhere in the institution for a long time with a little bit of movement, little bit of noise, and things just don't happen. So I couldn't deal with it all. And she understood that. And we just quieted the noise, and we slowed the movement down, and brought it all in. And I was able to go back and involve myself with people and be successful. So know your shortcomings. Don't be afraid to share them with your loved ones, because that's the only way they will understand you. If you don't tell nobody what's going on and think that they're gonna figure it out, they have not been where you've been and haven't did what you did, so they can't figure it out. Tell them. All right? Give them the ability to help you by telling them. And without further ado, it's Lakita Hicks.
Hello, thank you all. Like he said, I have never been where he been. I had no clue what he may have experienced. Like he said, felon was not on his head when I met him. Only thing I knew, he was a gentleman. He was sweet, he was caring, and he was honest. He was very honest about his past, about what he do not have, but he was even more honest about what he can bring to the table, which was his goals, his motivation, his honesty, and his love. So because of that, I knew that I had to potentially limit some things that I was accustomed to having within my life. I had to limit wanting to go out, wanting to drink. I'm a social drinker, so I didn't want to bring all of that around him. I didn't want to take that chance of setting him back, because I do care about him. I do want to make sure that he is successful, that we do stick to the goals that he has set for himself. So like he said, it is important to have a good support system, because your support system are going to be the ones that will be there for you. They're going to be the ones to help encourage you and motivate you. Heavily Motivated was something that he created. That was his vision. That wasn't his vision that he had while he was out. He was incarcerated when he had that vision. Like he said, he presented pieces of paper to me with information that he's already jotted out. Believe it or not, he had me on that sheet of paper to the T of the type of woman that he wanted to have within his life and to have with his family. So if you have that information, make sure that you jot it down. And if you have that change, don't just say you're gonna change. Show the change. Because to me, seeing is believing. So if I see that you're changing, there's no doubt that I'm gonna have your back. And I'm gonna make sure that I am doing whatever I can do to assist you. One thing about him, when he came home, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna get my kids, we're gonna move them in, we're gonna change. They ain't going back, I'm gonna keep them forever. I said, are you sure? I got your back. You want your kids, we can have your kids, we can have a family. But one thing he didn't take into mind, that time kept going while he was locked up. Everybody was growing. Everybody had their own mindset. So even though that you have this set goal, this set plan that you have for everybody, you have to take into consideration that people have grown. They have their own mindset. They have their own things going on. So you have to communicate with them like you communicated with me, that you have these set goals, these plans, and let them gradually grow with you. It's gonna take time. It's not gonna change overnight, but you will do it. Just stay motivated, stay encouraged, and stick to your goal, because you can do it. Just don't give up. And I make sure, like he said, find you someone who's gonna keep reiterating to you that you can do it, stay motivated, and stick to your goals. Because we're not gonna let you guys fail. We're not. Thank you.
So, what do y'all guys think? Huh? What do you think? The reason why, what'd you say?
Inspiration.
Inspiration, right? But wasn't he down to earth? Wasn't he real? Right? And what he said, does everybody understand that he's been there where you were? Right? Now, what he was talking about, do you think that can happen for you?
Yes.
Huh? Now, was that before you walked in the door, or did you always have that mindset? Huh?
Always.
Always? All right, that's what we want to hear, always. Consider yourself that this day is your change day. On this day, everything that's happened in your past ends. Everything that you're going to start for your future begins. We wanted him here because the best example for someone to have is someone that's been where you've been, someone that's walked in your shoes. And who could you have better than Mr. Thurston? I appreciate you coming, sister. Appreciate you coming. And just know that on this day, you had somebody here that understands your plight. You had somebody here that understands that it wasn't easy. You had somebody here today that said, you know what? Even though I had obstacles against me, I'm gonna prevail. I'm gonna truly be blessed at every door that I knock on, and also let them know that even though you say no, guess whose loss it is? It's theirs. It's their loss. So know today, when you walk out these doors, your opportunity is gonna be there. Change your mindset, fellas. Consider that this encouragement for you today is not just the beginning of your life, but it's gonna be the path that you continually walk on once you're out of this. And know that we are here to help you through Virginia Cares, through the Goodwill, through PD 16, the Reentry Council. Come to us. Mrs. Mary Ellen from 211. We have individuals here, Evelyn Garcia. We have people here that want to help you. Goodwill, VEC, CDS, all of these people they're here to help you to accomplish your goals. This is just not by circumstance that we want to do this. This is ongoing. So make sure that you take advantage of this opportunity today, and make sure that your day starts today and makes it better for you to continue what you need to do for the rest of your life, for yourself, for your family, and for God. Bless each and every one of you and be fantastic, and let this day be your day. God bless you.
So what we're gonna do right now is, I know Thurston said he'll hang out for a little bit, so if anybody wants to talk to him one-on-one, he said he'll be here a little while. Basically, we just want everyone to go around and meet some of the organizations that we have here, resources and some employers, but mingle around, and you're welcome to hang out all day if you'd like. And we'll have like some refreshments and snacks out there that we'll be replenishing, so you're welcome to eat. And we are gonna be doing some raffles throughout the day. So, are they mixed together right now? Okay, so we'll call out some raffles throughout the day. So if you win that way, you know, you get a little bit of something for showing up. But I hope you get a little bit more out of it than just a raffle. I hope you get something out of our speaker. I hope you can take away just one resource when you walk out the door. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you, man.